Today we will discuss topics such as the results of Cancer Amsa in Kala Chakra Dasha in Chapter 64 of Parashara Shastra. We are diving straight into some absolutely fascinating, highly specific territory of Vedic astrology today. We're going to unpack exactly how these ancient mechanics function, and trust me, the level of precision we'll be looking at is just incredible.
We've got a clear path for this explainer. First, we'll look at the original verse in translation. Then, we'll peel back the multi-layered astrological interpretations, map out the specific bhava results, walk through the actual calculations and diagram construction, detail the practical significance and mitigations, and finally, wrap it up with a summary of the Cancer Amsa.
Let's jump right into Section 1, examining the source text itself. To make sure we're maintaining absolute documentary rigor, we are anchoring our entire analysis directly in the authoritative edition of the Brihad Parashara Shastra. We aren't relying on hearsay or generic summaries here. We are grounding every single point in preserved, historical, textual knowledge.
If you reference page 837 of the text, you'll find chapter 64, verse 8. This specific verse establishes the exact astrological parameters for the Cancer Amsa and the Kala Chakra Dasha. The original Sanskrit lays out the exact planetary sequence, and the underlying mathematical logic of these planetary periods is quite literally encoded right into this ancient formulation.
Now, to truly comprehend a sutra like this, we have to perform what's known as padasheda, or parsing. Think of it like reverse engineering in ancient code. By meticulously breaking down the compound Sanskrit terms into their fundamental root words, we make sure that absolutely no technical nuance regarding the planetary sequence slips through the cracks during translation.
When we bring this into simple English, the literal translation gives us the baseline astrological effects of the Cancer Amsa. It sets up a very clear, sequential framework, essentially telling us exactly which specific subperiods are going to bring enjoyment, which might trigger danger, and which indicate extensive travel.
Moving right along to Section 2, let's explore the multi-layered astrological interpretations of this specific verse.
Astrologically speaking, the Cancer Amsa isn't just some generic time marker on a calendar. It represents a highly sensitive cyclical period, where planetary periods heavily, and I mean heavily, influence the native's trajectory. It's mapped directly to specific divisional charts, acting almost like a karmic clock that governs deeply rooted, highly consequential life events.
This brings up a really brilliant duality that we constantly see in Vedic texts. The literal translation of this verse warns of kings, chariots, and physical dangers. But if we look at the philosophical meaning, well, the king actually represents the internal intellect, constantly striving for sovereign control over the mind and the physical senses. It's about inner governance just as much as outer governance.
So, how does this apply to us practically? We can easily adapt these ancient analogies to modern life. Where the verse indicates favor or danger from a king, modern practitioners translate this to significant interactions with government bodies, legal authorities, or even high-level corporate dynamics. And a chariot? That naturally evolves into the acquisition of modern vehicles, or perhaps experiencing swift career mobility.
Let's transition into Section 3 and look closely at the specific bhava results activated during the Cancer Amsa.
Drawing again from the text on page 837, we see that each planetary subperiod, or antodasha, within this Amsa yields incredibly distinct outcomes. It's a highly specific sequence. For instance, the Cancer period brings enjoyments, while Leo brings danger from authorities. Virgo yields happiness, and Libra offers a solid reputation. But you have to be vigilant when Scorpio hits, as the text strictly indicates distress. Moving forward, Sagittarius provides a great gain of knowledge and wealth, while Capricorn threatens potential public disgrace. Aquarius warns of business loss, and finally Pisces rounds it out by bringing travels to distant lands. It's quite a dynamic roller coaster, isn't it?
All right, Section 4. Let's get our hands dirty with the actual mathematical calculations and diagram construction required by the text. As documented in the illustration table over on page 541, precise calculation is absolutely paramount here. The formula involves the meticulous multiplication of past katikas and palas. If you're not familiar, these are ancient, highly precise Vedic units of time. You use these to calculate the exact starting balance of the dasha at the precise moment of birth.
To find this exact balance, the practitioner has to execute 3 specific mathematical operations without any deviation. Step 1, you find the past gatigas and palas of the present nakshatrapada. Step 2, you multiply this figure by the specific number of dasa years. And step 3, you divide that product by 1/4 of the pavhog, which is essentially the total duration of the nakshatra. The time you get from this final equation is then deducted from the total dasa period, and that gives you your exact chronological starting point.
Constructing the physical Kalachakra dasha diagram is just as rigorous and fascinating. Step 1 involves actually drawing the Kalachakra circle itself. In Step 2, you methodically map out the energetic points, the deha, which represents the body, and the jiva, which represents the soul. Finally, in Step 3, you plot the exact directional flow of the planets around this wheel. It's literally like plotting a geographical map of the native's karmic path.
Let's move to Section 5 and discuss the practical significance and, more importantly, the necessary mitigations.
Because certain subperiods within this AMSA present severe karmic challenges, page 1011 of the source text meticulously outlines precise remedial rites. A major one is the correct directional installation of a kalash, or a sacred water vessel. It specifically must be placed in the southwest corner. You fill it with fresh leaves from 5 specific trees: gular, wavata, pipal, mango, and neem. Then you cover it with 2 pieces of cloth. This setup is crucial and precedes a highly dedicated havan, or fire ritual.
Now we have to understand that these aren't merely symbolic gestures. They are calculated functional astrological countermeasures designed to alleviate adverse bhav effects. The text advises specific acts of charity, like donating gold or a tawny cow. It demands the precise recitation of targeted mantras, like the powerful Triambakam mantra, alongside that kalash installation we just talked about. And finally, specific havana oblations using prescribed fuels and cooked food must be performed. It is a comprehensive, actionable system of mitigation.
Finally, Section 6, let's summarize exactly what we've uncovered regarding the Cancer AMSA. Ultimately, successfully navigating the Cancer AMSA and the Kalachakra dasha requires a synthesis of 3 main elements. First, strict, uncompromising mathematical calculation of those Vedic time units. Second, a deep, layered understanding of exactly which dynamic bhavs are being activated during each subperiod. And third, a highly disciplined approach to remedial practice to neutralize the malefic periods embedded within the cycle. It's a beautiful, incredibly complex puzzle.
Are we merely passengers on this karmic wheel? Or does the knowledge of these ancient calculations finally give us the power to steer our own course? On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, it is our humble request that if you found our presentation informative, please share our video as widely as possible so that the authentic knowledge of Indian Vedic texts can reach the masses. Come, let us all participate in this yagya of knowledge. Har Har Mahadev.